there are movies out there that hit multiple genres. Not too many, but a few like love and action, Rocky, space opera, love story, Empire Strikes Back, redemption, and holiday, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. But then you have some movies that hit multiple genres all wrapped up in one: love story, redemption, action, holiday theme. We are talking about Die Hard. With a Rotten Tomato score still to this day 94% by the critics and 94% by the audience. Yippee-ki-yay, mother. Welcome back to Tales of New Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert, I saw it in the theaters when it first originally came out. You were 4 years old, I think.
Yeah,
You didn't get a chance to see it, but you went to the theater recently to see it.
just to be official for everybody listening, like I've seen the movie, but to be
Well,
honest, I've never seen it in its entirety. Like I would see it on TV when it would come on, and like I missed the very beginning portions. I always got the action scene.
so you missed a flight, the airport.
What started the whole action, like the whole invading the building and all that part.
How did you miss that?
I don't know.
We watched it here. I've watched it at your house. How did you miss the beginning part? What were you doing? Taking a shit?
Maybe. I don't remember those other parts, but like they were playing it in my theater down the street from me, and I told you, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go watch it in theater, and you're like, again? And I'm like, no, I've never seen it in theater. I'm happy I did. I'm happy I
Mhm.
went to see it in theater. They put it in one of the smallest theaters. I'm like, fine, that's okay, but I was the only one in the theater, so
Oh, that's awesome.
I had the entire theater to myself.
Well, you saw it like during work hours.
It was like
Yeah.
3:15. So theater experience, it's worth seeing. Yes, you can tell the quality of the film because it's a 1988 film, so some of it is a little bit
Oh, so
grainy.
that was my question for you. They didn't do anything new to it. They didn't like remaster it.
It still looked grainy in some scenes. Yeah, it
Oh,
didn't feel
okay.
like it was fully remastered, or because I mean, you can get Die Hard like up to 1080p, maybe I don't know, maybe 4K.
I own it on 4K, and
Oh,
so, but it
okay, so
still
yeah,
has that. It
that
still
grainy
has that.
touch.
Yeah. Now let's go over real quick before we get into the meat of it. This is written by Roderick Thorpe, Jeb Stewart, and Stephen E. De Souza. Directed by the great John McTiernan. This guy was on a roll back then. Then I think he got in some legal troubles. But my God, he directed this. He directed Predator.
I mean, he did films all the way up until 2003, essentially
No, I
directing.
know. He did Basic, Rollerball, The 13th Warrior, which was good, but not so good. The Thomas Crown Affair. That's a real good one, even though right here that has a little score. Oh, I didn't know he did Die Harder with a Vengeance.
Hmm.
That's the third one, which is like
Going full
the Christopher
circle.
Nolan. Well, yeah, it's a full circle, just kind of like Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. The third one is a full circle to the first one.
Mhm.
The Last Action Hero. He did Medicine Man, which I thought was really good. He did The Hunt for Red October.
Classic.
Yes. You have starring here, making his international film action genre. That's
That's
not
true.
great.
He didn't do action films prior to this. He was doing
Right.
comedies, uh, romance.
He was doing Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd, but he did some small roles too on film. But this was the movie that launched him as a action star.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And I think this is his first like main starring role. He was like other films that he did were like co-stars or extra or uncredited roles. Bonnie
Yeah.
Bedelia playing the wife, Holly Gennaro McLean, Reginald Then Johnson as Sergeant Al Powell, and always you have two guys here, to tell you the truth. You have two guys here who are awesome of playing dick characters or a-hole
Oh,
characters. You have Paul Gleason as Dwayne T. Robinson. He
yeah.
was the deputy chief. And you have William Arthurton. He is in Ghostbusters. He was Thornburg, the reporter.
Yep.
Those two guys. If you want a person who's you want to be as a dick,
There
you
go
get those
twos.
guys.
Mhm.
Those two. You have here also Devereaux White. He was Argyle, which
I forgot about Argyle.
yeah, but he has a small role, but he has like two upper lips when he smiles. Did you notice that when he smiles, like another lip shows up? I mean,
That
it is
never
what it
came to
is. But
mind, but I see what you mean.
and then you have Hart Botchner, who played Ellis, the guy, the office love interest for Bonnie or Holly.
He wasn't
Holly,
necessarily a love interest, more like
well, he wanted to get in her pants,
yeah, he was definitely the office harasser,
right?
the
And
HR guy that you know is always going to be called.
but he was also in Mom's favorite soap opera, Guiding
Yeah,
Light.
like I believe
Yes,
it.
he was in there before he got here. You also have here James Chiquetta, who's Takagi, and you have the movie debut of late Alan Rickman. This was his first major movie role. He was a stage actor. He did some television spots in Britain or England, but as a movie, this was his first one, and he knocked it out of the park. He played an amazing villain. He is like of the top 10 of all film villains.
Very iconic. Like everybody remembers
Yes,
this role.
yes. You also have Alexander Godunov. He was Carl. He was a professional ballet dancer, which makes no sense in his
It,
display of action.
translating the
No.
fact that he couldn't fight.
Yes, for a ballet dancer where you're supposed to know how to move your body in an extraordinary way, fantastical way, his martial arts skills displayed for here was very basic.
But but I think that's also has to do with the fight choreography. I mean,
No, I
no
understand,
one really went over. We're gonna have you be a martial artist.
but come on, dude. His kicks,
The
that chop,
the jump onto the the pile of pipes.
yes, the way he gets kicked in the face. Anyway, Clarence Gillard Jr. He played Theo. He was the tech geek.
Yeah,
He passed away, unfortunately, but he was also in Walker, Texas Ranger. There's other guys too.
Al
Oh,
Young.
Al Long, yes, the infamous Asian thug. There's a lot of thugs out there, but he
Mhm.
was like he was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure as Kong. Kong? Yeah, Angus
Genghis
Kong.
Khan.
Genghis Kong, excuse me, Angus. Angus, I don't think that's food. But he was also Big Trouble in Little China and a lot of roles where they
Also
needed
Lethal
a
Weapon.
lethal. Yes. So
Mhm.
he was. Oh yes, he was the electrocutioner
Yeah.
in Lethal Weapon.
Mhm.
Yes, another Christmas movie, by the way. That is
Yes.
Fight Me for those listening, watching. That is a Christmas movie as well.
Which we'll talk about why this is a Christmas movie here.
Oh, I have it all there. You also have Wilhelm von Hunberg. He was James. He was one of the goons,
Yes.
but he was also in Ghostbusters 2.
Gust?
What did I say?
You said
I said Gus.
Gustbuster.
He was. Oh, damn it. He was also in Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
He was Vigo. He was the main villain.
Vigo.
Vigo.
Vigo. It's like, oh great Vigo. Please have
Oh
mercy on
yes,
them.
yes, that guy. So Vigo. I'm looking at it as Vigo, but Vigo. I don't know. I was an E on this, but okay. But he was in which I find it funny. He did a lot of roles prior, but he had a small role here. But it's still an important role. His look is very iconic. And then you also have Robert Davey. He was awesome. He was Big Johnson, the FBI agent from Goonies.
Yeah.
And then you have Grand L. Bush, Little Johnson, the other FBI agent, the black version.
Yes.
Oh, and I want to also acknowledge the original music. Michael Kamen did the original score for Die Hard. He also did Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Don Juan DeMarco, X-Men, Three Musketeers, Band of Brothers, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Frequency, Iron Giant, Lethal Weapon 4. So you know he did 4. He did 3, 2, and 1. Mr. Holland's Opus, Assassins, Strange Days, Judge Dredd with Stallone, Tales from the Crypt. Oh, snap. Okay. All right. X-Men, the animated series.
Okay. All right.
The Last Boy Scout, of course, which is pretty much Lethal Weapon and Die Hard combined together. And Roadhouse, of course. Yes.
Roadhouse.
Dead Bang. Since you saw this time in full length, what did you think?
I liked it. Went in thinking, oh, it's going to be decent. It's going to be an okay time. And I was way more impressed than I thought I would be.
Does it hold up?
I think it does.
Yes.
I really do.
Even though with the graininess, even though with the hairstyle of 1988, of the teased hair and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it still holds up, in my opinion. Now, does that mean this is a perfect film? No. Are there full pause? Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
oh yeah. But what makes this so great that this is your everyday man. Even though he's a New York cop in LA, he may be military trained. The tattoo on his arm may be
Oh,
a
that was a
military
scar.
reference. No, on his shoulder here is a scar.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, that could be military reference. But he also has on the other arm is a tattoo.
Oh, I overlooked that.
So how can you overlook that? It was on the big screen.
I wasn't looking at his biceps, bro.
Help! He's half naked on the duration, like the 3/4 of the movie.
I always make eye contact.
Jesus Christ! But yes, you had this guy who is your everyday man against what would be unbeatable odds.
Yeah.
You know, the writing is great. The characters here, every character here is great. There was, I didn't see any weak character here, in my opinion. And there was a lot of small roles. The anchors,
The
the
nanny.
children, the nanny,
Hmm.
the the receptionist, the staff crew. You know, they were all small roles, but they had their part and they fit well into it. There was a great balance of action and comedy and suspense.
Yeah.
There are some thriller moments. You know, there's like tense moments there, like, oh boy. Even, you know, watch it so many times, you can see it with the music happening, with here, um, with the escape. What was your favorite moment?
FBI took over and they were going to invade into the building with
Hmm.
their SWAT team, which a number one, I was like, that's a very short, a small group of people for SWAT members to break down a door and get through. But when the whole dialogue between Hans, them, and the FBI, he's telling him like, pull your man back," and they're going through, and then the shootout with it, I just thought it was good. I like the moment where I keep wanting to call him Carl from Family.
Call on that. Call
Carl.
on that. It's okay. It's all
When
right.
Carl shows up, he's like, this is a bus. This is nothing. And there's the whole action sequence in the top, and then he just throws the body out the window to get the attention of the officer, and then everybody starts shooting at him. Also a good moment. I like you said, sometimes it's not just the moments, it's like how the characters are portrayed. John McClane's character is just really iconic. How he's communicating, how he's interacting with Hans Gruber through the radio frequencies. Um,
Hmm.
I have your machine gun. What was it? Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho. And he leaves that message on the body, and Hans just goes. It's like someone goes like, "Are we going to tell such and such?" And he goes, "Yeah." It's like, of course, someone has to tell him that his brother is now dead. And I'm like, "Oh, that's his brother." And I'm like,
How about
"Okay."
that?
Again, I forgot a lot of things about the film.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
But you know what? That helps in this area because that means I'm getting fresh like experience with it.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I love the performances that were being done. It's hard for me to pinpoint one scene over the other because everybody was bringing like very iconic performances that are just unique to
Hmm.
themselves. And I just thought it was a good time. And I liked it.
Oh, I forgot to mention one other actor that was in it. Huey Lewis, the front desk guy that covered.
Oh, who?
That's not Huey Lewis. Kidding. That's Dennis Hayden. No, Dennis Hayden looked almost like identical to Huey Lewis. And Huey Lewis in the News was big back in the 80s.
That's fair. Yeah.
This guy came out and it was like, they always got confused. It's like, wow, Huey Lewis is an actor now. But Dennis Hayden is,
He was the security guy.
yes, but the fake.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It was a henchman security guy who was the second to last to be killed.
Speaking of which, like Theo, technically he wasn't killed; he was knocked out. But
Or
like,
no,
he was the
it was
IT
by
guy.
Argyle. Yeah, by Argyle.
Yeah, he's technically he never died; he just got
Right.
knocked out. But I
Hmm.
thought his character was kind of interesting. Like,
Oh, he was cool.
yeah,
The way
he
he
was,
brought in like sport references to it.
and
And the quarterback is toast.
he's just having fun with it. And the when
Yes.
he's having the discussion with Hans is with Takagagi, and
They have a bet.
yeah, he goes, "I knew it. He's not gonna do it."
But no, then you see Hans just turn around, looks at them, was like, guys, seriously?
And then that's
Like,
when he pulls out the gun.
well, no, but no. Did he pull out the gun then? I think the
Mhm.
gun's right there, but it
No,
was like,
it was right after he gave him the first offer and he turns him down. Then he pulls out the gun.
But no, the way he looked at them,
Oh yeah.
it was almost like a parent looking at his kids.
Oh yeah, no, the dynamic between all the characters and Hans actually really gets overshadowed, honestly, because yes, they're organizing it like they're terrorists, but they're really thieves, and they have a very
Right.
close bond with each other. And you can tell that
Right.
by the way they portray and act with each other. So I was like,
But also, you can see that where even though it is possible that they're all going to die, they try not to let that happen.
yes.
They're like,
Mhm.
he's still up there. I don't care. Blow the roof. But he's like, oh no. And, it's like, and then you have Ballet Boy with a temper that everyone's like, oh my God, he's the wild one. It's like, Jesus Christ. Because when he finds out or when he's taking charge of the certain mission at the moment, the other people are like, if you notice it, they look at each other like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, case in point, at the beginning when they first infiltrate the building, the brother is trying to tap into the phone lines to reroute
Yeah.
everything, and he just
Hmm.
comes in with like the jaws of life belt cutter and just
Hmm.
cuts the wires before anything is said and done, and you see them
Right. No
yelling,
patience.
no patience at all, and
Yeah.
he's just like skipping away. That just sets the tone of that character and how he
Hmm.
is. He's got an intelligence to him, but because like when they were first tracking down John McClane and they're on the rooftop and he's basically letting everybody shoot at John and he's on the helipad waiting for him to get to a certain angle. Granted, he missed, but he's pushing John McClane to a certain direction and
Right.
then
Right. Right.
forcing him to go in another area,
Just
which
like you would like in a trap. If you're trying to trap an animal, something like
Mhm.
that, you would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Same idea.
So there is intelligence to his character. He's just very emotional and less
Right.
rational
Right.
in that
Correct.
area.
Correct. I mean, there are so many good moments here and so many good dialogue,
Oh, the
action.
the moment where he's telling the FBI agents like, "I want you to release these people," and he's like, and release the red dragons. And Carl's there, and he looks at him like he just mouths the red dragons. He
Mhm.
goes, I read it in like News Weekly article or like Time magazine. He's just like, I just thought it sounded nice. And he puts it back on. I was like, that's great.
Right.
I love that interaction.
What makes this so good is that it's very relatable in the sense like how two people who are friends or co-workers, what have you, will talk to each other.
Hmm.
A lot of it is very natural. I mean, there's some great moments like when John drops the body onto the police car and Al freaks out and he's like, "Holy shit, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Well, he's calling for assistance, he's calling for backup, blah blah blah." And that seemed very real, and I think that was. I don't think he expected it, but he stayed in character. I can't remember for sure,
Mm.
or that was very good acting.
It wouldn't
But
surprise me because I know they did that with uh,
Rickman,
Alan Rickman.
yeah, with
They
the
surprised
fall,
him like that. Hmm.
you're right, because he was fearful, even though the crash pad was like 6 feet from him or under him.
He had an issue with heights.
He had issue with heights, and he says, we'll let you go on three. So it was like one, click. So it's like he just dropped. It's like, oh fuck. So that reaction that he has is yes, very natural.
Yeah.
This movie I can watch all the time. It doesn't have to be Christmas, even though I do watch it during now with my rotations of holiday films, of The Grinch, of Home Alone,
Iron Man 3.
Lethal Weapon, Iron Man 3.
Now Violent
Yes.
Night.
Violent Night.
I just watched it the other day.
Yes. Oh, another fun thing I love about this is that when John McClane gets into a fight, he's
Mhm.
talking shit to them. He's talking shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna cook you, and I'm gonna eat you. You should have
Yeah.
heard how your brother squealed. And it was like, I was
Oh, I
like,
remember that,
that's very
yes.
New York. That's very New York. That's not just New York. That's almost a lot of people do that. They talk shit. Boxers, UFC fighters, they're
Mhm.
fighting their opponents and they're talking smack to them as they're beating them. So it's not that uncommon to have one person who's beating you talk shit to you.
True, true.
I always love that. But again, faux pas.
Some of the fight scenes.
Well, not before that. Before that,
Okay.
Carl, when at the end, he still has his gun coming out while there's a police around him and the um, blanket.
Yeah.
There's like you see a real guy, a cop with him, taking him out, and then he pushes the cop away and the blanket, and he's about to shoot. It's like, wait a minute,
How did he still have the gun on him?
right? If cops
For
came to him and
so
put a blanket on him, they didn't see that big ass piece,
I was wondering how did he survive because he was hanging by the neck, and then the
right?
helipad exploded, and he was hanging by the neck for minutes because it wasn't no like I was up there for 10, maybe 5-10 seconds. He was up there for minutes because remember, like uh, John McClane hung him, threw him against the wall. He just hangs
Right.
there, goes up there, tries to get all the people. The helicopter shoots at him. He sends all the people down. They're all running down.
Well,
He's
how
still
about this?
hanging.
He gets shot 5 times, one in the head. He doesn't get taken down. He gets shot one more time in the shoulder. That's what takes him down. I don't get it, but that's what it does. So
Momentum.
that can tell you that his vengeance was more powerful than anything else because he got
Absolutely.
shot in the freaking head and he was still coming.
That's what she said.
Mhm.
And then Al shoots him in the shoulder, takes him down. I was like, wait a minute, that's wrong order. I think that would be the wrong order, but it took him down. But 5 shots. But yes, I agree with you that with all of that, the beat down, the hanging, the explosion should have taken him out. But at the same token, how are we going to have, because the blankets the cops put on the people because of shock to help them not to be in shock.
Yeah.
The blanket's like a cover.
It wasn't like a handgun too. It was
No, it was his regular gun that he had, his
Yeah.
his specialty. It was his rifle.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, guys, you guys are terrible cops. Another faux pas for me was his tank top.
You were looking at him so hard. I was like, whoa. What was wrong with his tank top, bro?
Okay, so here, okay, it is okay. So when he goes down, shut up. When he goes down right into that vent, he has a white T-shirt, right?
Yeah.
He comes out, the T-shirt, the wife beater is black or
Dirty.
gray or
Yeah.
green, is
Yeah.
dirty, but not really the pants so much, and not really him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And even though it is a great touch to show that he went through a dirty vent, he would have been a lot more dirtier. He would have like sweat stains of dirt coming down on his arm, and the shirt would not be totally dark. There'll be some white spots too, because to say that it got dark in there, like he'd been rubbing like all around the vents is like that.
Fair enough.
I mean, I
Okay.
get it. It shows a difference of from when he first came in and then got out. I get that, but in the sense of detail, exact detail of it, would not be totally dirty, and there'll be some white showing, and he would have been dirty. There have been times where I've been riding with Kim on the
Yeah.
motorcycle. We'll be riding for hours. Now, granted, I'll be sitting lower and have the windshield to protect me, but she wouldn't. We'll come home. I turn around. She takes off the goggles. All this is dirty from the street grind, from the exhausts, from the cars, and all this stuff. I will laugh my ass off, but this will be dirty.
Yeah.
So, but that's pretty much it. And that says other faux pas.
I thought, and I could be wrong about this, they only came in one truck. There was a car up front, which they used to go in through the front door, and then there was
Yeah,
the
the
one
van.
truck, the van that was in the
Van.
truck. But they had 12 guys that came out the van, out the truck. When they opened the truck, and the 12 guys came out the back of the truck.
Yeah, they show that, right? They show the guys come out.
Yeah, and then magically the van is there. And
Right, I
it
totally
wasn't like
forgot
an
about
18,
that.
it wasn't like an 18-wheeler or nothing. It was
No,
like,
I totally forgot about that. Oh my God. And the thing is, they drove in to that place with a van and like the Porsche behind it.
yeah, yeah.
There's like 2 vehicles like that went to that area.
Mhm.
I totally forgot about that. They did open it up and they're just waiting there
Ariel,
and they walked out. Oh, wow. Yes.
I remember not only them, they also had their equipments, they had the rocket launchers, they had the drills and all the stuff. I'm like, that was all fully loaded truck, which made
Mhm.
sense to me up until the van.
You're right. You're right. But I'm just jumping in real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
The 2 security guards on the ground floor.
The one that's like trying to smoke in the background.
Well, he was just walking around. He was probably smoking, but he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
walking
yeah.
around by the elevators, and there was one at the front desk. So they're talking loud. The robbers. They're talking all loud, right?
Mhm.
Easy, in that sound to hear everything. Especially if it's just 2 guys, securities guards in the ground floor, you
Yeah.
hear someone shooting or someone talking, and
The
then you
sound
hear
echoes.
the sound echoes, and then you hear a push. You hear the wheel turn. The guy's just like nothing.
Mhm.
Then he gets taken out. So Al, the cops come by to check on. So what happened to? There's no blood stains after being shot. No blood stains on the wall, on the floor.
Yeah, I didn't notice
They
that,
didn't
like,
take care.
the
They didn't
only
take care
blood
of the
you saw
bodies.
was, like, from, like, Takagagi
Getting his
and
head shot off, and the guy on the table.
yeah,
You don't see them taking care of the bodies or wiping the area because they were prepared for anything that could be possible. Cops coming by,
yeah.
security coming by to check on them
They just dressed
for
up,
any
like, they
disturbance. They just dressed up and just left it on. The smoke of the smoke grenade that has some smell to it.
a flash grenade.
That
Mhm.
has to have some smell,
I
sulfur or
imagine.
something. And also maybe not. They're silencers, so they'll probably smother the sound or the
Silencers,
smell.
I mean, I don't handle firearms, but to my knowledge, they don't really suppress the sound, they suppress the recoil. They're just considered silencers because it's also, less flash. I could be wrong.
No, there is some silence. It doesn't. It's not as loud.
Yeah, 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 but it's still
There's
fairly loud.
right.
It's not like in the movies where, like, "Oh, I can have a silencer and, like, you could be in the same room and you won't know." No.
There's another faux pas that just. What about you? You know another one?
I'm proud of the van one, that was a good catch from me.
Yeah,
Ah.
that was a really good one. I totally forgot about that. You're right. It was
Yeah.
like David Copperfield came in and helped out with the robbery. You're right.
Um,
Oh, how did he tape himself with the gun? That always gets me.
so here's the thing, that everybody I have heard this discussion about that whole tape. It's not logical or physically possible. He did it left-handed so that he could
No, I
reach with
know
his
that
left
part.
hand. But
Right.
how do you tape yourself? Because
That's what I'm saying.
and he taped over the trigger.
Yes.
So that's the other part.
Right.
So like even if he could, and he does reaching, it doesn't look like he reaches that far because it was pretty deep into his back.
Uh-huh.
Like even if he could go all the way that far back, get
Uh-huh.
that. The very first thing he's gonna hit is tape over the trigger because
Right.
it was
I
over the trigger guard, not just the trigger.
I do hate the way he held his gun.
The oh that
The whole time he's walking around with a gun. Instead of like this in preparation to anything to come around,
yeah, but I feel like
as
that's like
you would do,
the action crew directing him how to do that.
possibly, but still is like, but then then a technical advisor should have been there. A person with either a police force or a person who is well versed in gun safety
Mhm.
or gun usage, that this is how you know if you're looking for that. I mean, you can hold it down, you can point it to the floor. You don't have to be here. But the way he's going like this is show. I mean, this takes time to say if you have to shoot someone to say here, already there, or if you have it pointed to the floor, it's easy to go right here.
Yeah, I can see
You
that.
know, but doing this the whole time, I mean, my shoulder would be tired
Mhm.
after a while. I mean, I would, and I work out. Also, oh, infamous in the 80s and before that you can easily identify the stunt person.
Oh, absolutely.
His hairline and the stuntman's hairline, totally different. Good job as best as they could, but I was like, they should have cut the stunt guys or had the stunt guy wear a wig to match closer to Bruce Willis.
You know what? I don't disagree with that. But that's also part of the fun, I guess. Well, now it is because
Now,
like, well,
now it
back
is.
then, no. But I remember watching films with E, and he'd be like, "Look at this, look at this, look at this," and he'll pause it, rewind it. It's like that's clearly not that same guy.
No, exactly. I mean, there's a movie, Beverly Hills Cop, for example.
Mhm.
There's in a scene there at a fancy restaurant that Eddie Murphy's Alex Foley comes in to interrogate the main villain, and his bodyguard comes up to him and says, "Hey, cuz, why don't you leave?" I said, "Man, get out of my face."
Mhm.
And that he tries to push Alex Foley away, and Alex tosses him over a table, and and the camera is right there to see that the stunt man for Eddie Murphy, even though he's black and even though he has a mustache, the guy has an afro.
Oh, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Well, yeah, well, that was an Asian white or a white guy doing a woman's job, but no, but he had an
It's the
afro.
same concept.
But no, but they got a little closer in the sense of a black person covering a black person, where "I'm going to get you, sucker" was a white male or Asian
No,
It's kind of hard to really tell,
I
but
think it
it
was a
was
white
not a
guy
black woman,
with a wig and a
that's for sure.
dress.
But also with a mustache.
Yes.
No, I mean, it was just minor, but that's what I saw. And I was like, Jesus. And there was like some scenes, like there were some scenes where it definitely called for a stunt double, whereas other scenes it didn't call for it and they had a stunt double.
True.
Like when the fighting, stunt double. Why? But there's a scene where the elevator shaft explodes. It's
Yeah.
Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
It's him instead of the stunt double. I don't get that. Even with the first fight scene with him and Ho 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 guy,
Yeah, yeah.
both of them are stunt doubles.
Well, going down the stairs is like
Oh, definitely, yeah. But what I'm saying about they're fighting and they're throwing against each other against sheetrock
yeah, yeah.
is still stunt doubles for each or a stunt double for each character until under the close up is there. Then they show the guys, but you see the wigs. Still entertaining nonetheless. You know, you can accept it. Oh, why is this a Christmas movie?
Okay. It was like, take your pick. The music, the time.
The music. You cannot help it. When they're playing, the majority of the music is Christmas.
Not just because it's a Christmas party, it's literally in the background music of the movie.
How it ends.
And how it
ends with Christmas. It ends with Christmas music.
Starts, ends, middles.
Right.
Throughout the entire thing. So that's one aspect. You got the time setting.
Well, yeah.
That's a given. The Christmas theme is throughout the entire thing, just like Home Alone. It's all throughout the entire piece.
Right. But
and
here's my
referencing.
Thing. Here's my thing. Mm-hmm. McCain is Santa Claus.
John McClane.
What'd I say?
McCain. I'm going to pick on every time.
No, do it. Because John McClane is Santa Claus.
Now, after watching Violent Night?
He's Santa Claus. This is the reason why.
Okay.
There's a point where he doesn't know who is naughty, who is nice.
Okay.
Hans, he doesn't know who Hans is. Like he meets Hans, right? Mm. And then he asks him, like, hey, I'm John McClane. Who are you? Clay. Bill Clay. He sees the list. Yeah. He's looking at the list. He's checking it twice. Literally.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
All right. Even though Hans is not Saint Nick, he has elves as his helpers. They're bad elves, but they're elves nonetheless.
Oh, he could be Krampus.
He could be Krampus. You can make it like that. Yes. And that's a Christmas theme. Mm-hmm. McClane has his elves, but can't really help except for one. He's like Rudolph. Al is Rudolph.
Okay.
Even though he can't see what's happening up, he's telling him what's happening in the sense of what the FBI, what the city police are doing. And what does Rudolph do? With his nose so bright, guide his sleigh tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
So
the elevator shaft is the chimney. The helicopter pad is the roof.
See, exactly. The elevator shaft, all that stuff is the chimney he has to go down. That's why he's dirty, because of the soot. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Claus is waiting for him when he's done.
He always has a present for all the bad guys right there.
They don't like it, but they're coal, shapes of coal or death.
That's right. And some will argue what he pulled off was a miracle. So that's a Christmas miracle right there.
Oh, definitely. Well, let's say this: the C4 with an unpowered computer.
I don't know how C4 works. So
you need a charge. I think you need a charge.
But he has those little chargers. He had it at one point. He had a bag full of chargers.
Right, but the one where he puts the C4 and the computer and he wraps it up is unplugged. It's not powered.
Yeah.
And then he drops it into the elevator shaft. How it goes off unpowered, you need a charge. So that's my thing.
That worked. Yeah.
If you look it up on Google, it may have some reasoning for it, but it always got to me of how. Now, Fair. Also a little faux pas in a sense, the practical effects could be better.
It was practical effects because they would use model, like for like the building and explosions and stuff like that.
No, that's imposed.
Yeah.
Meaning that there was the building and they added the flames. It wasn't a model.
Okay.
A lot of it was computer generated, but like say the fall, right? With his fall, there's a blue green screen behind him. And when you see Bruce Willis look down, like that, you can see that there's something off about it. Since they're re-releasing it for the holidays, they should put some money into it just to make those effects.
You mean like give it that George Lucas touch?
No, not George Lucas touch. No. More like the James Gunn touch. In the sense of like, just clean it up.
That's
Just
fair.
make and it's not hard to do today. It's not hard
There's
to do,
people
and
that
it's
do it
not
online all the time.
Yes. For example, there's one guy who re-edited, not re-edited, but maybe re-edited, Batman movies, the Tim Burton ones and the Ghostbuster ones.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the guys or the site it is, but the Joker in Tim Burton's, when the Joker is revealed, he has a purple mark on his neck because of the coat is purple and it rubbed on his
Oh
neck.
yeah.
That is taken out because it's clearly makeup that got rubbed off.
Yeah.
Or it took it from the coat, and the guy just made it all white, so it looks like it's actually his skin, not makeup.
Hmm.
So he did stuff like that. But yeah, it can be done today easily. I can't do it, but other people can. Worth the watch
Absolutely.
multiple times.
I'm gonna have to say yes.
Yes, every Christmas for me, buddy boy. Every Christmas for me. Rotten Tomatoes is 94% across the board. Still to this day,
It's 30 plus
88.
years.
And you were born in 84 or 85.
84.
So this is 4 years younger than you.
Yes, it
So it's
is.
35 years. 35-year anniversary at the time of this recording. It is well deserved of the 94% score. It's entertaining. Every time I watch it, I learn something new, or I see something new that I didn't see 20 times, 40 times before. It is a Christmas movie, damn it.
Yeah, it's a deserving score.
All right, guys. That is our, what would you call it? Action, thriller,
Throwback,
throwback, holiday.
holiday throwback.
All right, guys. It is our throwback holiday review of Die Hard, which is also a Christmas movie. It's also a action movie, and it's also a thriller, and it's also a love story,
Comedy.
action comedy. What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the comments below as well. Let us know if you would like us to review a movie or show. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas.